Hey y'all, how you doing? We are in the time of year where it is too hot to work during the day. So it's evening time and I'm out here getting ready to deadhead some plants so that way I can get more blooms, and for some of them just to get rid of the spent blooms so the plants look a little nicer. I have these roses here that are beautiful, but they need deadheaded. Since I'm here, let's show you some of the other pretties. Look at these little mini roses. Just all over the place. And look at this rose. It's finally open. And look at that one on the same plant. And then we have this one here. Look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful that one is. First things first, I'm going to deadhead these roses.
I got patchouli in my pockets, wool socks in my shoes. Rolling down the back road singing Grateful Dead tunes. I played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan. They call me a drifter.
The next thing I'm going to deadhead are these peonies, because some of these blooms are starting to fade. Now when I cut the roses, that'll cause it to send up more blooms. When I cut these peonies, they're not going to send up more blooms. They'll be done for the spring. However, there's more buds that haven't opened yet, and I want to go ahead and clean up the blooms that are faded, and it'll just make the plant look nicer overall.
Twist in the grain, but I follow where the fireflies whisper my name. I got one hand thumbing, one hand open wide. West Virginia wind hitching me a ride. I've seen hollers sing a love song, rivers carve a rhyme, trading meals for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but
Alright. See, there's still plenty of blooms on there, and there's still buds, so I just took the ones off that were kind of weighing it down and starting to fade. Alright, the next thing that's on my list to deadhead are these chamomile over here.
I call it home, and it sure feels great.
The next thing I want to trim are these columbine, because even though they are beautiful, they spread so quickly, and I don't want any of these going to seed. So I'm going to cut these back and take out that bindweed that's grown up the pole.
Stopped off at a diner where the jukebox still plays. Met a girl named June who made me question my ways. She had a tattoo of Orion in a steelworker's hands. Said, you ain't got a room just to take a stand. They say you can't be both grounded and free, but I met a stargazer sitting in a booth next to me. I got one hand in my pocket.
Okay, I got those done, so they at least won't become more of an issue than they already are. Like I said, I'm going to dig those up this fall and put them somewhere where they can just spread and go crazy and do their thing, because they reseed so heavily and there's just too many there. So I want to keep them from going to seed this year, because I don't want to have more seedlings to deal with. I want to be able to dig that out and then treat anything else that pops up that's columbine as a weed in that area after that point. Okay, the next little things I want to deadhead are these English daisies in the border of this garden. So let me get to that.
One hand by my side, West Virginia trooper offered me a ride. I've heard farmers sing a love song, woodworkers bust a rhyme, traded weed for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it life, and it sure feels great.
got all those deadheaded across the front. I'm up here in my vegetable garden, and I've got these trays of marigold and basil that I want to plant in this row in front of my tomatoes. Here's what I've got, are these trays. And I still have one tray of basil down at the bottom, but I can only carry what I've got right here. So I'm going to get this planted, and then I'll deal with the other tray of basil.
I thought I needed some faraway land, chased mirages in the desert, left my footprints in the sand. But every road kept bending like the curves of a stream, till I found out I've been bringing myself back to me. Now I got both hands holding on, both feet planted strong. West Virginia skies still carrying my song. I've seen horses run headlong, heard woodpeckers tap in time, traded the road for the wisdom I've been searching to find. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it my world, and it sure feels great. If you're ever out this way with a story to trade, I'll be sitting by the fire, pouring bourbon in the shade. I got patchouli in my pockets, wool socks in my shoes, rolling down the back road singing Grateful Dead tunes. I played checkers with an old fella at a roadside stand. He said, son, you might stay lost if you don't have a plan. They call me a drifter, a twist in the grain, but I follow where the fireflies whisper my name. I got one hand thumbing, one hand open wide, West Virginia wind hitching me a ride. I've seen holler sing a love song, rivers carve a rhyme, trading meals for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate, but I call it home, and it sure feels great.
So I got both of these rows planted. I alternated basil, marigold, and I am sweating to death. It is so humid out. I would like to try to get the rest of these marigolds planted alongside these rows up here until they're all gone. I just don't want to, I want to get them all planted, and I think I'll just continue to plant them along my rows until I've got them all planted.
Hopped off out of diner where the jukebox still plays. Met a girl named June who made me question my ways. She had a tattoo of Orion in a steelworker's hands. Said, you ain't gotta roam just to take a stand. They say you can't be both grounded and free, but I met a stargazer sitting in a booth next to me. I got one hand in my pocket, one hand by my side.
Alright, with the rest of the marigolds, I made it about to the end of where my dwarf and micro dwarf tomatoes are. So that means this end of the row won't have it, but that's okay. I'm hot and dehydrated, so I'm going to go in and get a drink. It's getting dark out here, but I wanted to go ahead and get a few things in this garden bed behind my greenhouse because it's getting ready to rain, and I like to plant things before it rains so it can be watered in. I've got some hens and chicks, some nasturtium, and some eucalyptus I also want to plant back here. So I'm going to go get that now, and I'm going to go get that flat of plants and get it planted. Here is my basket of plants. These hens and chicks I got from Walmart and Lowe's. I have a Silver King. I have a, let's see, what's this one? Red Reuben. This one is Commander Hay. And then this one is Pluto. And then I have this one right here, which is Red Beauty. And then I've got these nasturtiums I've planted. These are Empress of India and Jewel Mix. And then I got these eucalyptus that I grew from seed. They are the baby blue eucalyptus. So I'm going to plant those in this section right here behind my greenhouse.
West Virginia trooper offered me a ride. I've heard farmers sing a love song, woodworkers bust a rhyme, traded weed for the stories that I gather over time. You can call it strange, you can call it fate.
I'm going to insert some video of this in the daylight right here. I wanted to show you this bed that I finished last night in the daylight. I got my eucalyptus toward the back. And I put all these hens and chicks around here. And then the last one went over in that area. There's kind of an overview of it. I wasn't able to get my nasturtiums planted, so I will go ahead and find another bed for them, but that will be on a different video. I'm going to wrap this one up here because it's getting dark. We've had a long day of planting. I truly appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.